You know, he was, it's a little, you can call it corruption, but to me it's a tactic.
Of small-town Quebec, Duplessis said, "We must maintain and protect our rural base." The party proclaimed itself a friend of the farmer.
He got his majorities out of rural, small-town Quebec. They liked him, and they liked what he did, and they supported him.
C'est que, dans la province de Québec, l'agriculture...
Rural Quebecers held a majority of seats in the Assembly, yet less than a third of Quebecers lived on the farm. By the 1950s, change was underway.
He was re-elected so regularly because he delivered for the province. It was the greatest era of economic growth and social progress in the history of Quebec.
At Asbestos Quebec, the largest asbestos mill in the world is ready for operation. The latest project of a $70 million expansion program, the new plant will process more than a third of the free world's supply of the magic mineral. Quebec's Premiers-Maurice Duplessis pushes a button to officially start operations. This new mill is close to the site of the Jeffrey mine, which ranks as the world's largest operating asbestos mine. Everything from the raw material to the finished product is examined by Premier Duplessis in this latest addition to Quebec's industrial growth.
Duplessis said, "Mine is the only government in North America unequivocally in favor of free enterprise." The era brought more shipbuilding and milling, more factories and mines. Quebec's provincial revenues were $500 million a year. The province was rich in iron ore and hydropower. The number of union jobs grew sevenfold.
He generated the programs that required the money because he wanted to take Quebec out of a primitive condition, and he did.
Our law-abiding citizens, the high quality of our labor class, and furthermore, the stability of administration and the stability of policy.
He was the friend of the Francophones, and he was selling his own people very cheaply.
Duplessis claimed the power to rewrite any union contract. He said, there could not be any compromise with communists. Police were used to end strikes. Duplessis' Minister of Labor said later, "So much power should never be placed in the hands of any man." Quebec introduced the padlock law, with police powers to raid any property they suspected might have communist literature. One union local wrote Duplessis, "Dear sir, you use the same slogans as Hitler and Mussolini." Of the Premier, Time magazine reported, many of Duplessis' civil rights policies would have been incredible anywhere else in North America. Jehovah's Witnesses were targeted for arrest for disturbing the peace. Witness publications were critical of Catholics. In Quebec, it seemed one church would dominate.
We were in a prison. Our mind was in prison. What all these sins and all that garbage.
Everywhere the oblate guardians of the Madonna bring the same message and meet the same response. Mary is our Immaculate Mother. She has been calling upon the modern world, from La Salette, from Lourdes, from Fatima, calling for more prayer, for penance, for a more Christian way of life.
The church was pretty well pro-Duplessis. At election time, he made sure the parish driveways were paved.
Il y a l'école de Val-d'Espoir. Il y a l'école de Rimouski.
The Premier boasted of new schools, yet Quebec had no Department of Education. The entire province had only 43 public libraries. A journalist wrote, "From the moment French children went to school, they were submerged in religion. They were taught lives of the saints." Geography class documented the travels of missionaries. One textbook asked, "Your prayers diminish the intensity of the fire which devours me. What am I?" The correct answer, a soul in purgatory. On movie nights, Quebec censors banned any mention of divorce. Film of the era celebrated the church.
And so today, as yesterday, across the landscape of Quebec, stand the stable, deep-rooted communities grouped around their church. On this soil abide from generation to generation their culture, their tongue, and their character.
The Grand Noirceur. The Great Darkness was the French expression historically for Duplessis' era.
He was no saint, he was no devil, but he was a great Quebecer and he was a great Canadian.
He had all the power in Quebec. I mean, he could do pretty much what he wanted, and he was the only person in the history of Quebec elected to 5 terms as premier. And he would have been elected to more if he lived longer.
Still campaigning at age 69, Duplessis said, "I've given you all I have, my devotion, my life."
I was the first elected Anglo in the French riding, and he used to call me "mon petit anglais," and he signaled me out of the crowd, and I went and shook hands with him. But it was the last time I saw him.
He's in the plane he's going to Shefferville, where he's going to die, and he says, "People don't like me like they used to. I remember young children coming to say hello, mon oncle Duplessis, mon oncle Maurice, and they will come to me, and they don't come to me no more."
Thousands of mourners come to pay their last respects to Quebec's Premier-Maurice Duplessis. After lying in state in Quebec City, Duplessis rests in the hometown courthouse where he practiced as a young lawyer. There are so many mourners in Three Rivers that the courthouse stays open through the night and until the Premier's body is taken away for funeral services.
I was numb, I was sorry, and I was devastated. An era went away that would never come back. Things will never be the same. I had my husband, I had my children, everything, well, life went on, but there was this thing missing.
His legacy that he supplied us with the history of a wonderful villain. We all like villains, don't we?
Passe son temps à dénigrer la province. Passe son temps à déprécier la race pour tâcher d'atteindre l'union nationale et en particulier celui qui vous parle. Je vous le dis en toute franchise, que mes adversaires me décrient, qui me dénigrent, qui m'insultent, ça ne fait rien, mais pas la province et pas la race.